Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Today I'm going to go over here and I'm going to be going over a how to watercolor an eye. This eye. This is the finished result. I did want to tell you to make this announcement. I wanted you to go check out my buddy's channel. It is Javi Can Draw. Javi Can Draw is basically a YouTube channel where he takes something, breaks it down to himself, teaches it to himself, and then teaches it to you. That channel is very awesome. It's a very complimentary channel to this one because he's going over mostly clothing, things of that sort, things that I'm not really going over right now. But I would go over and subscribe to him. When you subscribe to him, and I'm going to put a link on the screen here and in the description, what I want you to do is I want you to go to his channel, comment, and say, I sent you. Say, Easy Things to Draw has sent you. So he really knows that. Okay, guys? But be a good community. We are a great community, and, we can all get stronger. So let's get into it. That's pretty much it. I did kind of an intro to watercolor video. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. So I'm going to kind of go into this. This is my palette right here. I talk about kind of where to buy a very similar one. They're really cheap. I put a really cheap one. I think I put one from Amazon. I'm going to put in the link below if you don't have one. The reason I started with watercolor is I thought that was kind of one of the easier mediums to start with in terms of paint. So it's pretty cool. So let's kind of get started really. If you want, you can pencil this out. You don't have to, but I'm going to pencil it out. Sorry about that. Might have put it out of focus. No, still in focus. I'm going to go in with like the thinnest, the thinnest thing I can find, which is a mechanical pencil. And I'm going to lightly, to the point where almost you might not be able to see it. I hope you kind of can. I'm going to very lightly throw in an eye. I'm going to assume you know the rules of drawing an eye already, because a lot of this is going to be about the medium, a little bit about the medium, about the medium, about the eye. But the eyelid, what was I going to say? It's going to have like a peak toward the middle portion. Let's say this is if you're looking right at somebody, let's say this is their left eye, and it's on your right. There's always a peak toward the top of that. Let's see. I'm going to throw the eyelid up here. And I always think of the eye as a sphere. I'll go over a little bit, actually. A little bit. I always think of the eye as a sphere, kind of in this opening of the skin. You always got to think of that sphere around there. Like I said, the skin is just kind of this broken. It's kind of gross. It's kind of think of like a cut open portion of skin. And so you're going to find that the eyelid kind of wraps around the eyelid. So let's kind of get started. I'm going to start with, I'm actually just going to leave that as is. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to throw very light for the iris, and the iris, and then the pupil. And I'm going to throw even where I'm going to leave it a highlight right here. I'll go more into it as we're doing this in color here. Oof. So like I said in the other, you can go wet on wet, or meaning you can throw it on a wet kind of surface and then paint on top of that. Or what you could do is you could actually kind of just go in, like I'm going to do, is kind of semi-dry, and so I'm going to go wet on dry, and I'm going to start with black. I pick black out of here, and the way those start is that the thing I really love about it is they start out as like hard little chunks. I got my water over here. I got a tiny bit of water. I don't think I need to really show it, but I'll put it over here. It kind of creates too much of a shadow, but I have a little bit of water here. And the brush came with the set, which is cool. I'm going to kind of rub along the top here with water, and it's going to come out, this black's going to come out. And I'm going to use one of these palettes over here. I'm going to throw black into it. And I'm going to choose how much dilute it. How much water am I going to put in there to dilute it to begin with. So I'm going to go in with this black. So I'm going to try to go in with shadows first, essentially. The upper eyelid there. down here for that little ball, the tear duct there. And I'm gonna just kind of cover what's gonna be like. See how it's not solid black. It's this kind of gray. And I'm doing that almost to kind of start with. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Right here, the lower lid, it's going to have a little bit of dark right there. Let's put my finger through it. If you want, you can actually put, like I always carry a napkin in one hand to really pull back on it. Really pull back on it because I didn't want that there. So I'm going to let this dry. While this is drying, I'm going to throw some you know, kind of color over here on the eyelid. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and dip this in water. I guess I will put this here because I feel like creates too much of a shadow. Anyways, I'm going to dip that in water, my brush in water. I am going to go over here in the brown, and I'm going to bring the brown over here to a palette of its own. Really tear off a bunch of that brown. And some orange here. I'm going to mix it with that brown. And we're going to some of this, I don't know what you call it. It's not yellow, but it's like this dull yellow. And I can actually mix a little bit of red in there. Little, like very little, because the red kind of swallows it up. I'm trying to create this skin tone between those. And go over here. It's pretty dry right now. And dip a little bit of water in here and put the water back into this concoction I had. Little concoction. Sorry about that. Now I'm going to grab that same concoction over here. Put it down below. The thing I don't like about this is that the highlights are going to have to be left. You have to be careful. It's just going to be the white of the paper, the highlights. I know you can throw gouache over it, but for this version, just this alone, I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to rinse this out. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to give this person a blue eye. Because I like blue eyes, even though I don't have blue eyes. I grab the blue over here, this dark blue. Oh, actually, it's not even a dark blue. These two blues look so similar. This is like a light kind of aqua blue, and the other one's like a straight up blue. I like the aqua blue, so I'm going to use that. And I'm going to water it down. So, like, in order to get some white paint, you know, quotations, you just have to water it down to the point where it's see-through. Oh, man. Something got in there, and it looks all green now, so I have to be careful about that. See how watery that is? That's kind of where people get hung up because it's kind of hard to control. So just be careful with that, and you have to kind of practice. See, it's like floating all over the surface. You're kind of messing around with it on the surface here. It's gonna mess it around with it. See? And now you have to kind of leave that there to dry. Hopefully the rest is dry. And I'm gonna go over here, see how really diluted the blue is now. And I'm gonna take the diluted, I actually cleaned it out in water. Super diluted. And I'm gonna go over here with the Scalar, I believe that's called, the white of the eye. And I'm gonna throw down. I don't want that to look completely white. I want the Scalar to be super extremely light blue. Because the highlight will be white. So yeah, I want that to be the whitest thing. Alright, let's go back into the blacks. See the black colors here. Normally what a lot of people do is they'll completely finish one process. I'm kind of going this, I don't know, almost like it's like layer 1, layer 2. I'm kind of doing that process. So this one I'm going to throw more black paint on there. Be really careful. Just going to try to use the tip. See how much more black that is than the rest? So have to be really careful. And I want the blackest black to meet the whitest white over here. That's where there'll be the focal point. See that highlight? Sorry about the shadow I'm creating as well with the light. Let's get that closer, this light on the left. So I'm moving this around. Really careful. I don't want it to be pitch black in here. I want it to kind of gradate. Alright. Gotta let that dry a little bit. Kind of moving it around, see? Playing around with it on the surface here. And carrying it over. Grab some of the black here. And I want to do the outside of the iris. Kind of carry it over. Taking that black and I'm carrying it around all over. So while that's drying, I'm going to go over here to the kind of pink. I'm going to take from the pink palette for the little tear duct right here. And I'm going to go over here, go back to my flesh tone. Throw a tiny bit of black in there, tiny bit. And what I want to do now is I'm going to take this flesh tone and I'm going to actually do the inner portion of the eye where it connects to the nose. I wasn't going to do that before, but I decided to, I don't know, I just feel like it needs it. It just looks like a floating eye right there. I want to connect it to something. So I'm going to throw some black here into this flesh tone. Put it on the inside, inner part of that eye where it touches the nose here. And grab a blue, add a tiny bit of black to the blue. A little shadow in there. I want a cast shadow from the eyelid, I decided, because it just wasn't, it was looking too plain. I'm going to throw a little shadow, darker shadow right here as well. A tiny bit around the highlight. And I'm going to grab some black, put it around the highlight on this side. So some more black. Throw some black over here, darker, like really black. I'm going to throw it really, really black. A little bit too dry there. You can see too much texture. And I grab more really, really dark black here, and I'm going to push it over here on the edge of the eye, the eyelid. And also on this side of the eyelid, where it's going to be the kind of the tightest. and a bit in the top. And I'm just trying to move stuff around now. A lot of waiting to dry is going on. Alrighty. And you can kind of continue to finesse some edges and add more darks to certain areas. You can add more wrinkles like this. Add more darks to here. You could even add more, maybe reflective light somewhere. Let's water this down a little bit. Add some blue inside of this gray to make it bluer. You could add some darker blue as well. Wait, more paint into the crevices here of the iris. Over here a little bit more if you want more there. Anyways, you can kind of keep going on that. That's it for the demo. It's been going on a bit long, so thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'll see you later, guys. See ya.